In terms of like your career, is there anything you do differently looking back now? Welcome to episode 2 of the Off Air podcast. So this is my co-worker Keegs. He is the first guest on the show. Keegs, how's it feel?
I love how you've called me co-worker when I am in fact...
No, you're not my boss.
I'm your boss. I'm your content director. I'm your manager.
I never call you my manager because it feels like we're more like family instead of you're my manager. You're not my
That's
manager.
a nice way to put things, I think.
You're my friend, but I wouldn't hang out with you outside of work. No, I'm kidding.
We have hung out outside of
Us
work.
right now. Us literally right now. I wanted to get you on the podcast first because we both started at the same... Oh, well, we didn't start at the same spot, but we've both kind of... Coast FM's had a big part of our careers.
Oh, absolutely.
And I wanted to talk about that. What made you think you wanted to start working in radio?
Oh, wow. It's going to take me back a little bit.
Yeah.
I will never ever forget this. I was in the car, my parents' car when I was younger, listening to the radio, and an Offspring song was playing.
Yeah.
So this is taking us back to the mid-90s. I think the song was Gone Away. Maybe it was Self-Esteem, something like that. And the jock back announced it as Green Day. And for me, as a big punk fan, hearing this jock back announce the wrong band entirely made me think, if this guy can get on the radio, anyone can. Surely someone with just music knowledge can get on the air. Little old Keegs. And it took me a little while to get there. You know, I didn't really go into radio until I was much older. You know, I was a bit of a introverted dork in high school, which may come as a surprise to a lot of people. But I was eyeing off maybe a career in IT, information technology, and that sort of thing. And
you give me that vibe.
Yeah, thank you. And then it got to a point where I'm not sure if I'm cut out for this sort of thing because I wasn't really technically minded, I guess. I couldn't really program to save my life or anything like that. So I did a retail job for 10 years. I thought, well, retail might be my life. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I found that doing retail sort of helped with my self-confidence and built me up a little bit. And of course, when you work in a retail, one of the big supermarket chains or something like that, you know, they've got a big microphone, a PA system that works so you can do announcements. And they would always throw me the microphone and say, Keegs, you've got a great big voice. Yeah. Why don't you do the closing announcements or something like that? So I'd bust it out. And, like, customers would come through and like, you've got a really great voice for radio. Hey. And, you know, I thought, well, you know, they're half right. Yeah. So from there, I one day heard about a radio school in Melbourne. And I was getting pretty jack of working at this place I was working at. I won't name drop them. Green Wall Zone. If you know the Green Walls, you might know who I'm talking about.
Know who you're talking about.
Heard an ad for radio school. Applied for that.
Which that school's not running anymore.
No longer there. MRS or RTI, depending on where you started. So I did that. I did their intro to radio. That was a week, and I thought, well, this is pretty cool. Went back, hooked up with some mates that I knew did community radio back in Bendigo, where I'm from, and just hung out with them for a little while. Found the real passion for radio, hosted my own show for a little bit, and then I thought, you know, what's next? Yeah. And a lot of my life is dictated by what's next. So what's next from there was going back to radio school for their 6-month intro course. That course was also very expensive, and I didn't have a lot of money at the time. So, as luck would have it, and I was very fortunate that I, at the same time, had broken up with a girl, moved back in with my parents, and I was watching Millionaire Hot Seat one day. And I thought, you know, I'll give this a go because I'm pretty good with trivia. So I applied for Millionaire Hot Seat, long story short.
No way.
Applied for Millionaire Hot Seat, got on, won $20,000, enough to cover radio school.
I didn't even know this!
Well, there you go. Enough to cover radio school and then some. So that paid for radio school. Shout out Eddie Maguire. And yeah, so I did radio school, met some people, networked a little bit, met a guy who was doing the course at the same time as me, but during the day. But he was from Bendigo, so we caught up a little bit, became friends. He was working part-time, casually, at the radio station in Bendigo. So we hooked up there for a little bit there, and then he moved up to Swan Hill for a job up there in radio, and then he quit that to follow another dream of his, but put my name forward for the Swan Hill job.
Hey.
So I interviewed for that and got the job there.
Yeah.
And the rest is history. So I was in Swan Hill for 18 months, and then Warrnambool was 18 months after that, and now...
and that's where I come in.
9 years later, I'm in Deniliquin with you.
Yeah, how crazy.
Silly. Just out of control.
So, I wanted to kind of compare Coast FM, like, the Warrnambool station for both of us. So, obviously, like, I kind of did work experience there. When I started, like, I was doing, you know, kind of like odd jobs and finding my way around radio. When you first started at Warrnambool, like, what were you doing in the first few weeks? You were announcing...
When I first started at Warrnambool.
Yeah.
So I was announcing during the week. I was doing... Gosh, what was I doing? I can't remember what shift I was doing at Warrnambool at the time. It might have been afternoons, I think.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I was working Tuesday to Saturday, so I'll paddle footy on the Saturdays as well.
Yeah.
So I'd come in, I'd record my Monday shift on a Saturday, which is not ideal when, you know, stuff happens over the weekend that you talk about on a Monday. So I'd record my Monday shift and then go paddle footy for the rest of the afternoon. And then COVID came around.
Good old COVID.
Good old COVID. So then they shafted me into late nights.
Yeah.
Because I think they didn't want to let me go.
Yeah.
But still wanted to keep me around because I was important to have around the building.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was just to keep
When
morale
you say-
up or something like that.
When you say late nights, was it like really early morning or really late night?
No, so it was 10 till 12.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because I was doing like 4 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Yeah. But that was just
That was-
you getting
yeah.
practice in. But
Yeah,
for me, like, I was
yeah,
already
yeah.
experienced announcer. So I was doing all sorts of things because at the same time it was really like a late night show. So I was interviewing artists,
That's cool.
which was amazing. It was a great
Yeah.
opportunity for me. So I interviewed some fantastic artists that I still love to this day.
Yeah.
So that was something that I really treasured. But it got to a point where, you know, the cogs were turning elsewhere and they decided to put me on afternoons, but doing across the network.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Because I was doing network late nights as well. So then they moved me to afternoon network, which was really cool. Also doing some of the same stuff, interviewing artists and that sort of thing. And then that sort of dried up when I moved up here to Denny because I guess my role changed again, becoming content director of the stations up here. So yeah, that was a great time, that little bit when you were at Coast the same time I was. Doing work experience, I mean.
What a time.
What a time. But yeah, things changed pretty rapidly over the last couple of years.
100%. When you say interviewing artists, like who are some of the artists that you've interviewed? I know you've met
you're,
Amy
you're,
Shark.
you want me to name drop a little bit?
Yeah, go on.
Oh, Amy Shark was Denny
Denny
Youve
Master.
last year, but I interviewed Mashton Kutcher, Mabel.
Really?
Yeah, gosh, who else? You put me on the spot. Vera Blue, Hilltop Woods.
What the heck? I didn't even know this.
Funny this, I interviewed Benson Boone before he blew up.
Hey, there you go.
That's my little claim to fame.
First.
And Benson was incredible, just really down to earth, chill kid.
That's so cool.
And
How old was he?
Late teens, early 20s maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
So like around my age.
Yeah. I don't know how old he is now, but like this was a couple of years ago now, so this is probably 3 or 4 years ago. And I just got off the Zoom with him and just thought, this kid's got a little something.
Going places.
This kid's got a little something in him, and I can't wait to see what he gets up to next. And we all know he dropped beautiful things.
Crazy. Just went insane.
Gangbusters. But he was such a lovely guy.
Yeah.
And so many other great artists too.
Yeah.
Just a privilege to be able to talk to these people.
Yeah.
Bands and artists that I'm a fan of, and just ask them questions as a fan.
Getting paid to do so. It's like it's our job, and it's like we're fans of these people.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And even the ones that I didn't know going into the interview, like I wasn't really super familiar with, and just learning about their story and the music they make and that sort of thing was just incredible and such a privilege.
And then you come out and it's like, you know, their story and you're just so inspired. And so now that you're in Denny, obviously everything in your radio career has led you to this point. What's the dream? Are you like really, really happy with where you are now, or could you see yourself in 5 years' time being somewhere different or doing something different?
Oh, it's crazy. Because when I first got into radio, my dream was to be at the Fox or
I feel like
Triple M.
everyone's
That's
is.
everyone. That's
Yeah,
everyone.
100%.
That's every young announcer's dream is to be at the Fox. And a part of radio school, we got to have a tour of the Fox when it was originally in South Melbourne. I think they've moved since then.
That would have been so cool.
But getting that tour, getting on the elevator to go upstairs,
Yes.
and Jim Brayshaw was getting on the elevator as we were getting off. Crazy, and I think it was a survey break, so there wasn't a lot of people that I look up to in the building.
Yeah.
And it was late afternoon too, so there wasn't much happening, but that was very cool. And I remember going to the rooftop, the world famous rooftop at the Fox, and the view of the city. I took a photo of it.
Yeah.
And thought, I'm going to be back here one day at the Fox and doing this job. Didn't turn out that way because I've now moved. So now that photo is irrelevant. But
hey, manifesting, it could happen.
Yeah, well, that's it.
It could happen.
I think it's just maybe keeping that idea in my head. Just manifesting that idea of being back at the Fox one day would be cool. But at the same time, I have also grounded my dream a little bit. So that's the lofty dream. But I also have this I guess you take it to dream of maybe not even such a dream, but a real passion that I've now adopted, is helping to nurture and help talent grow, like yourself. Don't get all soft with
Stop
me.
it.
It's a big part of why I wanted to bring you into the fold at Denny, because you're a young announcer with a lot of talent.
Thanks.
Oh, gosh, here we go.
Stop it.
Don't really pump your tires up on your own podcast, but I really feel like you've got a lot of talent and a lot of growth, and with my limited knowledge, hopefully if I can just guide you a little bit in the right way. And there's still announcers that we've had through at Denny, and other stations in our network that I've spoken to and I still speak to. And it's the same with them, just giving them advice.
Yeah.
If I hear a good break that they've done, I'll send them a text or whatever. Yeah. I've got air checks sitting in my Facebook Messenger right now from another announcer that I've been meaning to go back and air check and I haven't done it yet. But I'm going to. It's my job for the next couple of weeks, with Easter especially.
Yeah.
Get it done. Let him know how well he's travelling, and he's a good young announcer too with oodles of talent.
Yeah.
That's just another passion, I guess.
It's also crazy how far you've come when you think about it. If you could tell your 10-year-ago self where you are today, it's just crazy. But there's this one photo, I'm going to put it up on the screen, of you at Coast FM. You put on your Instagram story a little bit ago, and it's thinking about how far you've come to now. Would you ever believe that you'd move to Denny? How random?
Oh, not in a million years. And I remember getting the call.
Yeah. Tell us about that day. Do you remember?
I think it was a Friday afternoon, actually. And it was just completely out of the blue. It was my group content director calling me and basically offering me the job at up here in Denny because they knew I wanted to be closer to home. Home is Bendigo. Instead of being 4 hours from, or 4.5 kind of between Warrnambool and Bendigo, Denny's only 2 hours.
Yep.
So being closer to home, work knew that I was going home a lot, and it was a bit safer for me to be going 2 hours instead of 4. And the company car and the pay rise also was a nice little sweetener to the deal, the little push in the right direction. And getting the opportunity to work in Denny, to basically run the show. It's a unique market, and having the youve Master
I was about to say that,
well, and just seeing previous announcers go through Denny and do the youve Master, it's such an experience. And now having done a couple of myself, it's such a wild couple of days, and not just as in the party atmosphere, but what we're doing behind the scenes, interviewing artists constantly, so cool. And getting content for those 2 days.
100%.
It's so much fun.
Yeah,
it's so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to dragging you along this year as well.
I'm not looking forward.
Look, in terms of I know you're not a big country music fan.
I'm
not either. But you just the fun that comes with meeting new people and talking to these artists and still learning their story. So exciting. Yeah, and I know you'll find that too.
The lineup this year looks pretty good. Zach Brown, he'd be awesome. So yeah, hopefully I can interview some pretty cool people.
You will.
In terms of your career, is there anything you'd do differently looking back now at all?
I don't think so. Every career move that I've made, I have no regrets. Like, it's led me to this point.
Yeah.
I don't see them as regrets or anything like that. They're just learning points.
Yeah, exactly.
You just learn from them and you move on from there. Like, there have been mistakes, I think, but I've learned from them.
Yeah, and every single little thing has led you to where you are today. So.
Exactly, and I don't think I've burned too many bridges in the industry at this
You
point in
hope
time.
not.
I hope I haven't, at least anyway. But yeah, I'm very happy with where I am. I think I've done pretty well to find myself here, and I know that Ace
is so good.
Ace must love me and what I'm doing to keep me employed and to keep me in Denny. So I'm grateful for that as well.
Yeah. What do you think personally, like, the next 5 years look like? Do you reckon you'll stay here? Like,
oh, that's an interesting
off
question.
The record? Off the record twinning type podcast?
Look, I don't know. Like, when I first got to Denny, I thought, well, I'm only going to be here a couple of years and we'll just see what unfolds from there. But
as long as you're happy.
Yeah, like, I'm still happy. And as long as I'm still happy, like, why would I want to go anywhere else?
Exactly. I think, like, just personally, like, I think success is definitely measured if you're happy. Like, it doesn't matter where you are. Like, as long as you're happy, like, then you're successful, I guess.
Yeah, and, like, success doesn't necessarily need to be
like an award.
Awards,
or,
yeah. I know, like, you and I talk about ACRAs a little bit.
So, for context, ACRAs, Australian Commercial Radio Awards, very exciting time.
Yeah.
And every year we try and put a, what's it called? An entry.
An entry in.
An entry in. We need to do that this year. But yeah, an ACRA doesn't determine success.
Well, that's a winner.
Says the one who has an ACRA nomination.
Just one. We're working on getting more in my little office.
I say this year, we're calling it right now. Keegs and I are going to be at the ACRAs. I want to go. I want to go so bad.
As long as they're in Melbourne, I'll be there.
Oh,
Sydney
they're
might
going to be
push
in
my
Sydney.
luck. Sydney might push my luck. But as we were saying, like, success is not awards. It's not money. It's happiness. And if you're happy 100%. In your job, and you can find the happiness not necessarily in the job, but helping people as well. Yeah. I think that's a wonderful thing, being able to find happiness in the not so material things.
Oh my god, we're so deep right now. I think, like, that's one thing that also helped me get into radio was, like, entertaining people, making people happy. Like, that's such a big thing in radio. Like, when you do a break, like, it feels like we're talking to just ourselves, but at the same time we're also talking to, like, thousands of people. It's so strange.
And you don't even think about it.
No, you don't.
It's just you in the studio with the microphone that you hit the on button. I used to do in Warrnambool. I used to have a little pop figure in my studio. I don't know if you remember.
You've told me this. Yeah. I love it.
To remind me that I'm always talking to someone.
Yeah.
Let Me Kill Mister from Motorhead as the pop vinyl in case you're playing at home. So that was the person I was talking to. That one person, my little Lemmy pop vinyl. So as an announcer, it's always important to remember that you're not just talking to yourself. You are talking to thousands of people, but at the same time, it's still that one person you're talking to.
Another example of that is Donna from Warrnambool has a Britney Spears poster up on the window in the Coast Studio.
I need to see
this.
I think
it is so funny. Might hear from Donna in a later episode. Stay tuned. Donna has a massive, just Britney Spears face. And the day that she put it up on the window, I genuinely got so scared. Like, I walked in and it just scared me because it was just so big. But she's the same. She's like, it reminds me that, like, I'm talking to someone.
Even if it's Britney Spears.
Even if it's Britney. Probably not talking to Britney Spears.
No, I highly doubt you would be, but it's important to still remember that no matter what. And if you can find a way to remind yourself of that, whether or not it's a little pop vinyl or a massive Britney Spears poster. Like, I know I'm not sure where it is at the moment. I haven't seen it in a little while, but I'm sure there's a large cardboard cutout of someone at TRFM.
I feel like I've seen that online or something.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about radio school? Like, how long was the course?
So the first stint or the second stint?
Was there two?
So the first stint was where I got my little taste of radio. So that was only a week. So that was 9 to 3, I think, for a week.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then the 6-month course was 2 nights a week.
Oh yeah.
So Monday, Tuesday, for 6 months.
Yeah.
And that was pretty heavy going because, I just, my partner at the time had just given birth to a daughter. So she'd look after her, obviously solo while I'd be in Melbourne doing radio things. And always grateful for the support that she gave me at the time. And so it would be 2 nights a week. You'd learn little bits and pieces about radio. Obviously 2 nights a week being away from my family and stuff. That was always hard, but you learn, all the basics of radio. You'd learn announcing, all the behind the scenes stuff, clocks, creative writing, production, all the little ins and outs, competitions as well, how they run a promo. So that was crazy.
Sorry, yeah, because when people think of radio, they're like, oh, just announcing. But there are so many different, avenues.
Oh, so many different
So many
facets.
different jobs, production, literally everything.
And these days too, social media plays a massive part in what we do in radio. And
Yeah,
you know very well how important social media
is for radio as
for
well.
radio.
Yeah.
One of the greatest things you and I ever did was that
that Facebook post.
That Facebook post we did together in Normal that week. You did work experience with us.
1,000 reactions on Facebook, and hey, that's a lot on Facebook. Okay.
But we were stoked about that.
That was crazy.
Especially since Coast didn't do well. It did well.
Little 17-year-old me loved that.
Yeah, well, little 30-something-year-old me loved that too. But at radio school, you learn all those different facets. But a big part of it was obviously announcing. And the 6-month course culminated in a week of on air for the whole class. So we go live. I think it was narrowcast or something. It was streamed online or something like that. I can't remember how it went now, but you'd partner up or you'd do a solo shift or something along those lines. And you'd have to do show prep. You'd run competitions and that sort of thing. And being live on radio, going out to potentially how many people living in Melbourne or whatever, and then you'd come off air and being like, I can't believe I just went live.
Sorry guys, our light keeps going off and I don't know why.
Technical difficulties! We used to do that in radio too, by the way, just technical difficulties. But we make do.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
So, I don't want to talk too much on this, but does your daughter think that you working in radio is cool?
I'm not sure how she deals with it these days, but when she was a little bit younger, I think she thought it was cool. I used to get her on and record little bits and pieces with
If my dad worked in radio, that would be so cool. No judgment to my dad and his job, but that would be sick.
I think she finds it cool. We talk about radio things as well. So we're sitting in the car listening to the radio, and she'll notice little bits and pieces about...
You said she notices the voices of the ads.
Yeah.
How? That's so smart.
Yeah, or she'll notice when something goes wrong on
really?
air, or she'll say, Daddy, that music's a bit too loud for that ad. I'm like, spot on, Arlo, you're correct.
Damn! Maybe she'll grow up and work in media.
You never know.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Obviously, I went straight into doing work experience. Do you remember any of the time where I was there for work experience? Because I don't remember much of it. I'll put a little photo. Because I have a photo.
You in your school uniform.
Yeah, I was literally year 10, I think. Or year 11 maybe. And I was doing work experience. Keegs was my mentor. Do you actually remember any of that
Little
time?
bits and pieces, yeah.
I don't really. I feel so bad.
Oh, maybe in saying that was a number of years ago now, and you've always kept in touch, because I think... Because you wanted to be in radio.
Yeah.
So, of course, you kept in touch with a few of us at Coast FM just to keep that door half open for you.
I think we had each other on Snapchat, and then you messaged me when it was when the job came up in Denny. Yeah, and you were like, do you reckon you'd be interested? And that's when I was working there full time in my gap year. And I was like, yeah? And I thought you were joking.
But then saying that, well, I was half joking because I never thought you'd actually say yes. Because why on earth would you want to move so far away from your family, your friends, and somewhere where you're so deeply ensconced like Warrnambool, and travel interstate and start a whole new life up in Denny?
And for those who don't know Denny, it is the most it is population 10,000 people in the middle of nowhere. We have Not a lot of shops.
It's not quite the middle of nowhere.
An hour away is the closest town, Keegs.
It's not that bad. It's a very quick hour. It's only half an hour if you go quick enough.
Keegs!
Not that I condone unsafe driving at all.
But yeah, it was kind of a random move for me to move up to Denny, but I don't think I would have moved if Keegs wasn't there. Not to toot your horn or whatever.
No, I appreciate that.
Pump up your tyres.
But in saying that, there are so many young people as well, and this is not just in radio, but it's a big part of radio too, I guess. But so many young people these days who don't want that big move to smaller country towns to follow their dreams or chase their dreams or whatever.
You need that to work your way up. It's a stepping stone. Or I don't know. I learned something new every single day in this job. And moving here was so good because I could either not be an announcer but live with my family, or be an announcer and make a whole bunch of new friends. Every one of my friends from school level moved to uni and gone to Melbourne, and it's this is just my equivalent, my move.
This is your university.
Exactly.
You're learning things every day.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
Did you graduated from year 12?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you didn't go to uni. You went to radio school.
I went to TAFE.
Oh, what did you study?
IT.
Oh yeah, you said that. Yeah,
and then, didn't actually find my footing in Didn't find my footing in anything like that. So then I had to go and do, my 10 years, normally 10 years at,
Did you go 10 years in retail?
Yeah.
Wow.
Nearly 10.
Yeah. And now you're nearly 10 in radio.
Yeah. I think I'm about to beat my previous job.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no.
Which goes to show how old I am. Not, we've said that in the podcast
You
yet.
guys would think that he's 25.
We're not talking about my age.
I'm not going to tell his age, but
we can play a guessing game or something like that, perhaps.
You're
not allowed to play because you know.
55?
Yeah, close enough.
I'm kidding.
Jeez.
So obviously you've interviewed so many bands, so many artists, and what would the dream artist be? The dream band?
I'm a heavy metal, dirty punk kid. I would love to interview someone I don't know, Metallica or, Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters or, oh man, there's so many 90s
What if I make it harder?
heavy bands that I love.
What if I make it harder and say Dead or Alive?
Dead or Alive, that's interesting. Oh wow.
The possibility is endless.
Well, nearly endless. So we're talking artists. Oh, someone really fascinating. Gosh.
The whole of One Direction at the same time.
No, for you maybe, not necessarily for me. But yeah, look, as long as I can find an interesting story, I think that'll be a great interview.
100%. So there's a lot of young people that might be interested in radio or are watching this and they're still in school. I know the subjects that you kind of learn in school or choose in school don't 100% help with your career path, but they do at the same time. Do you remember what subjects you studied in high school?
I did classical societies and culture in year 12.
Oh.
Yeah.
Love that.
So we were analysing ancient Greek history. And Greek culture. So that was very interesting, but it had nothing to do with radio.
No.
Yeah.
Did you do anything media?
No.
There you go.
I did business management, biology.
So did I.
English, obviously, general maths.
Better than me.
What else? There's another one in there I can't think. No, escaping me. Doesn't matter because, year 12 was year 12.
Exactly. And I didn't get the best ATAR, but you can still do anything.
Yeah, and the wonderful thing too is if you get a good enough ATAR, you do media at university. Yeah. That's a good stepping stone, or just you don't even have to do uni to get into radio if you just make the right contacts, talk to the right people, get into community radio if you want.
Yes,
if you start a podcast, whatever it takes. Whatever you need to do, whatever you think is going to work best for you to get into radio, just do it.
Yeah, this is your sign. Just do it. Don't second guess.
Just do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Don't second guess yourself. Yeah.
Hey, that's a very good point, because it's
Yeah.
one thing that I've always done is just do it.
As Nike said.
As Nike
Not
once
sponsored.
said, just do it, because as it turns out, if you just do something, put your name in front of the right people,
Yeah.
you never know where it's going to lead.
Well, that's why I moved here, because I was like, what is there to lose? Like, oh, no, apart from like my family back home. But like, hey, home's always going to be home. Like, that's why I moved. I was like, just do it. Spread your wings. Like, just
fly away.
If you wanna do something, just go ahead and do it. Like, it's taught us both a lot of things. Obviously, more you, because you've had more experience in the industry.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other advice for young people that would want to come into the industry? Or
annoy people who are already in the industry.
We like to be annoyed.
In a polite way, and not...
Politely.
Not being rude or anything like that, but just, hit up someone. Like, hit me up. Like, I love talking to young announcers and upcoming announcers.
You'll get like 200 DMs now.
Great. I will answer all of them. I love listening to demos and air checks and that sort of thing. I love giving advice and trying to help nurture the next generation.
Yeah.
I think it's very exciting, and it's fulfilling for me too.
Yeah.
Watching a young person in radio
grow
their wings.
Yeah, exactly. What's like what's your all-time favorite part of your job like now?
Home time?
Home time?
No, like
5 o'clock?
I still love pulling a really good like break.
Yeah. It's always
and you know, and like
never gets old.
Never gets old. Like the other day, we did a really good one, you and I, at an anti-broadcast.
Yes.
And you even saved it and sent the audio, which was very cool. And it was something that I was like, I'm still thinking about it now, going, that was so hard.
Yeah, it was good.
I hit the post. The post is where...
Yeah, I was going to say, they're not going to know.
The post is where the song, where the lyrics in a song start. So it might be, right at the start.
An intro.
Or you might have an intro, you might have a 15-second intro, and you're talking right up to the post. And if you time it right, and you finish talking, and the lyrics kick in,
just
chef's kiss. It's
so
the best
good.
Feeling. It's the best feeling, especially when you're doing it live. It's just the best
100%.
feeling.
Like, whenever we do a really good break, like, one of us will go into the other's, like, studio and be like, listen to the break coming up in 2 minutes. Or, like, go back and listen to the one I just did, because we get so excited about it.
Yeah.
It's like, I hit the post. Or, like, I said something really cool. And then we save all of those throughout the year and save them for Acras. This is me editing. Acras actually got cancelled this year. I'm so sad about it. I feel like I jinxed it. I'll talk more about that in the next episode, but that is so sad.
Or do you just save them for ourselves?
Or just save them, yeah, exactly. Because I was listening to some today and I was like, that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
It's also very cute to go back to like what you were doing like a year ago and being like, that sounded so bad.
Yeah, I've grown so much since then.
Yeah, exactly.
And even though like I'm still like, nearly 10 years into this, and I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm still teaching myself new things as well, which is really cool. And that sort of thing keeps me interested and engaged as well.
Yeah. And then like another part of your job alongside announcing, you're in charge of production. Can you tell them like a little bit what that is? Like obviously creating the ads.
Yeah, so a big part of my role, and I guess you're in radio, so a big part of it, no matter what, is creativity and being creative. So a big part of what I do is I make ads.
Yeah.
I make the commercials, I make the 30-second promo spots that we do as well. So that's always great fun, like just flexing those creative muscles a little bit, getting the creative juices flowing, and whether or not that's... putting a filter or whatever,
choosing the music
on a vocal, or choosing the music, or tweaking the words a little bit, or something along those lines, and just being able to being given license to get creative in that way is such a thrill as well. And hearing that ad on the radio and going, I made that, and that's actually come out pretty good.
Yes, I love
that's
doing
always
that.
exciting. It's always exciting.
Yes, I love like driving and you'll hear an ad and you'll be like, I know who that is. Or like, I wrote that, or I made that ad. It's just like such a cool feeling. I'm going to have heaps more guests come on.
I might be able to come back for a part 2.
You probably can, yeah. Because I'll be more prepared. But I'm very excited that we did get you on the podcast. I didn't even know half the time. Like, what do you mean you won $20,000?
I won $20,000.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I wish I won $20,000.
It was pretty cool. Top 5 greatest moments of my life.
Ooh.
No doubt about it.
What are the other 4?
That's for part 2.
Oh, part 2. Okay, we will do a Keegs part 2 because now I feel bad. But yeah, we'll have more guests on very soon. Thank you so much, Keegs, for hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it a lot. And yeah, guys, make sure to give it a like. I'll leave Keegs' social media down below. Go give him a follow.
Please give me a follow. I'm desperate.
You're going to be famous after this. And comment some questions for Keegs part 2. Because that's what I should have done. I should have made a little question box and said, ask questions for Keegs.
That's part 2.
Part 2. Little Q&A with Keegs. That has a good ring to it. Q&A with Keegs. Alright. Bye!